Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Dee. I am Katie Kriya on YouTube and Instagram, and basically I've decided to start this channel because I love sewing so much that I think my husband is a bit fed up with me talking about sewing all the time. I have a few friends on Instagram who sew as well, but I don't have anyone near me as in physically. Oh, my little heart is gone. I don't have anyone very close to me, like as in physically close to me, that we can talk about sewing and talk about our little makes. So I thought I'll do this little channel because I've been loving watching YouTube podcasts. I've been loving, listening to YouTubers, and I probably will do a video about my favorite one. But in this video, I thought I would do it's quite old actually, the seamstress tag. I think it was around YouTube 6 years ago even. I thought let me do a little video to introduce myself basically, and talk about me as a sewist. I will definitely not be editing this video a lot because basically nobody got time for that. I'm a full-time, I work full-time and I'm a full-time mum, and it just gets hectic and I don't think I will have time to edit this video. So I thought I will give you a little warning because I know that some people love it properly edited with music and all that. I don't have time for that. I really don't. And at the end of the day, I'm here to talk about sewing, and I personally don't mind videos where there's none of that, because what I want to see is your makes. So I will be inserting videos and pictures as I'm talking about my makes, and I will definitely in the future probably bring the actual garments and maybe show them as well on the screen. Even though personally what really matters to me is to see the person in their make and basically twirling around, or at least showing pictures, which is what I think I will be doing with this video. So yeah, let's go through the questions, because then it'll be easier for me to just talk about me and just say a little bit more about me basically. So the first question is, who are you? So my name is Diane. Actually, a lot of people think that my name is Katie, and quite rightly, you know. Katie is my middle name basically. Yeah, I think you call it middle name in English. So the reason why I'm saying in English is because English is not my first language. French is my first language, and I'm thinking about making videos both in French and English. I've not decided yet whether I was going to do that or not, but I think it'd be a good idea actually. In other sort of like, I was going to say industries, like this is a job. It does feel like a job, sewing, doesn't it? 100% does. In other sort of like content, I'm going to call it content creation field. I've been following YouTubers who did both English and French videos, and I do like that. So I might do that. I might do it. And if I do it, it's going to be right after this one. So who are you? So as I said, my name's Diane. One little side note: I get basically sidetracked very easily. So I think in a lot of my videos I'll be like, what was I saying? Oh, what was I saying before? You know, I do that in real life. You know, I do that all the time basically. So so I'm Diane. I've been living in London for the last 10 years. I absolutely love London and the UK. I love living here. I love how friendly people have been. I've just loved feeling like I was at home as much as anyone else, and that's not a feeling I felt in every single country I've lived in. So big shout out to the UK people, let's call you that way. But yeah, no, I love London. I absolutely love London. And yeah, I've been here for 10 years. I met my husband in London, and I also had my little boy in London. So live with my family in London basically. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. When and why did you start sewing? I started sewing back in 2021. I was actually pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant, and I show up at this lovely studio workshop, but it is in like a sewing studio that is literally down my road, and I do go here and then. And I show up there with my massive belly, with my sewing machine because I wanted her to show me how my sewing machine worked and also how to make a tote bag. And she never forgot, you know. I saw her, so there's a few teachers there. It's called the Mee Studio, and I'll link them down below, like if I have a following. But I'm gonna make a habit of doing that now, because if I get a few people following me, then I definitely want to talk about them, because they're just a great little workshop studio that you can go, sewing studio you can go to if you want to learn sewing. But they also do socials, and I've been to a few of them, and I've also been to one big like masterclass. The latest one was to learn how to do bodice blocks and trousers blocks, which is something I've been exploring. So yeah, I hope that you go and have a look at the website and see if there's any class you'll be interested in. I am not in any way, it's not an affiliate link or anything like that. I mean, when you watch this video, I probably will have 0 subscribers, or maybe 1. Probably my husband. But anyway, yeah, so I am very pleased that I've basically discovered this place, because it was down the road. I was 8 months pregnant, like with my sewing machine, getting on the bus, going there like a mad woman, basically like a mad woman. And I'm going in there, and basically she showed me how my sewing machine worked. She was lovely. Her name's Jamie, and you'll see on the Make Me Studio page. And she also showed me how to make a tote bag, which I still have actually. So, and I said I wasn't going to edit. This is the tote bag I made, and I love it. I absolutely love this little tote bag. So I chose the fabric while I was there, and we made this little tote bag together, and I'm so pleased I still have it, because this is the very first project I ever made, and yeah, I love it. So this is when I started sewing and wear. So that was 2021, July or August 2021. I was 8 months pregnant with my little boy, who is now 2.5, little baby boy. So I started sewing because I was watching a lot of knitting videos when I was pregnant, because I was knitting a lot when I was pregnant. I've always been knitted on and off my whole life. But sewing is never something I thought about, and the reason why is because my mom is a seamstress. And now you're all gonna think, but of course you know how to sew. No, actually, I never asked my mom to show me anything, because she knew how to sew. So why would I learn? There was that, but also I wasn't that interested. She made me my prom dress. She made me my ballet outfits. She made me so many things. She is the most talented seamstress. I can't call her a sewist. She's a 100% seamstress. She can look at a picture, and she's going to replicate the picture without a pattern. And that's how a lot of tailors actually work back home. So I'm not surprised, I'm not surprised that she is that talented, because it is something that's very common, because people are so talented back home without any pattern. They're capable of replicating an outfit from seeing a picture. It's completely wild to me, and it wasn't at the time. I thought, oh yeah, that's really easy, they just do it. But now that I sew, I have so much respect for them, and they're so underappreciated for that amount of genius. It's mad. And I'm saying I'm not surprised. Of course I was surprised once I realized, my God, that this is how talented my mom and those other tailors are. So when I was watching all those knitting videos, I came across one of the girls, she was probably younger than me, who was doing also sewing videos, and I was like, wow, actually I love what she's making, and it looks easy, it looks effortless. Probably more on that in another video. Yeah, I decided, let me give it a go. I think the main reason of knitting a lot at the time was I wanted to make things for my baby, and I made a couple of cardigans. That's all I made. A couple of socks, I think, as well. But then I saw the sewing part of her videos, and I thought, I love it. It was a French YouTuber, so probably not. It's not worth me putting a YouTube channel down there. But yeah, she definitely was the first person I saw sewing at home as a sewist, not as a job like my mum would do. And I really loved it, and I thought, let me try, let me learn, let me surprise my mom, which I did at some point once I knew how to sew garments, and which was really, really lovely. I absolutely loved surprising her like that. Anyway, so cut a long story short, this is why and this is when I started sewing. Now the next question is, what is your favorite or proudest make? Let me think about this. I think there are actually 3 makes. It's really hard for me to choose one of them. I have been looking at my Instagram and thinking, which one am I the most proud of? And I think there are definitely 3 makes, because 2 of them I can't decide which one I prefer. And then the last one is my latest make, which I'm so proud of. So if I start with the first 2, so I made 2 dresses back in summer last year. I made the Flor Dress, so I'm going to insert pictures of probably the pattern and definitely me wearing the product, the dress. So I've made the Flor Dress by Bella Loves Pattern. If you don't know her, definitely have a look at her Instagram. She has amazing patterns on there. Will probably sew another of her patterns because I really enjoyed sewing this. It was the longest project I have ever made, and it was challenging in that way. I think the techniques were very well explained, and I didn't feel too challenged by the technique. It was more the length of the project, the length of cutting the pieces out. I think it was about 17 pieces. It was my longest project, and for that reason, I really have not forgotten about it. But I've really enjoyed wearing it. I've really enjoyed sewing it overall, because it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. There was maybe one step, probably around the wrap, around the bodice, so around where you have to do your sort of, I don't know if it's called a hem, I don't think, the collar, that's it, the collar of the bodice. So it's a wrap dress. I found it really difficult to get it right, and that's something I'll have to make sure I have I practice maybe a bit more, because you have to like roll it and then sort of apply some pressure, some like tension on it. I wasn't too sure about that bit. That's the only thing. Oh yeah, another thing about me, I explain very badly things, very badly. So if you want to put questions in the comment about what you're on about, then I can explain a bit better in writing. I'm really bad at like public speaking as well. So bear with me. So yeah, love this dress, love the ruffles. I love a ruffle, and it's basically a dress full of ruffles, and I loved it. The fact that it's a wrap dress, I'm not a massive fan of wrap dress. I love wrap dresses. I love how they look, but I struggle with the fact that they can basically open up as soon as there's a bit of wind, and basically everything's out there. So this particular dress I always wear with some sort of like shorts, like underwear shorts, you know, not like denim shorts, like shorts under my dress, because I'm just so worried. And it does open up. It's quite a big wrap dress, and the bodice is quite high on me. It does look fine, but I think I could have lengthened it a little bit, because there were so many other pieces to lengthen, like the ruffle and all that. I couldn't be asked to do it. I don't know if I'll do it, to be honest, but let me know in the comment actually if you think that I need a bit more length on the bodice, but I think it's fine. Anyway, so that's one of them. The other dress, so that's the 2 dresses. Basically, I can't decide. I can't decide between those 2 dresses which one I like. The other dress is the one from Paper Cut Patterns, and it is the Estella Dress. Again, I'm going to show you pictures and possibly videos as well of that one. I think both of them have got videos, so I'll put everything as I'm talking. So the Estella Dress, I think, is such a gorgeous pattern. When I stumbled across this pattern, it must have been on the internet. I must have been looking for patterns, because I think I found this amazing website that has all the different pattern companies like ever, and I can share that link in the description if I find it again. But it's absolutely amazing. I basically found so many pattern companies, some of them that are not talked about on Instagram at all. Just a great website. I'll do my best to find it, but I'm not promising anything. So yeah, so Paper Cut Patterns has also really nice patterns. I have bought a couple more, I think, at least one more, because I love their dresses. I think they're beautiful. I think they are just really pretty. So definitely recommend you have a look at their website or their Instagram page. So Estella is a beautiful dress. It's a reversible dress as well. Reversible in the sense that you can wear the front at the back and the back at the front. Basically, that's that, in that way. I remember when I posted this on Instagram, people thought that there was another fabric under, so you could like basically wear it inside out, because I think that's very much when you talk about reversible garments, that's very much what it means, I think. And this dress is beautiful. I just love it. I will make another version 100%. Again, I'm not entirely sure I've chosen the right size. It does look fine on the pictures, I think, but around the sleeve, I'm a little bit tight, and I've worn this dress on holiday last year, and I loved it, and people gave me a lot of compliments about this dress, so it was very, very great. But I'm not too sure about the sleeves under the bit under the oh my god, yeah, the under bit of the sleeves, because it feel like it's a bit tight, and when I move my arms I feel like it's pulling a little bit. It's very odd, but again, because the bodice of that dress is like you have to basically wrap it up around you and then make a little a knot. You have to basically, yeah, wrap it around you and make that knot. So it's really difficult for me to see whether I need to make a bigger size, because then I don't want my chest to not be basically wrapped up properly, if that makes sense. But anyway, if you've sewn that dress and you've got tips for me, I'm definitely all ears, because I just want to know yeah, whether it looks right or whether I need to make another dress, another size, sorry. So those two dresses, I can't decide which one I like, because I can't decide which one I like, because basically I love them both. I just love those two dresses. So those are probably my number one, them together. Then, hang on, let me just double check. I feel like my phone is not straight. Yeah, I think that's better. You're gonna see everything, guys. I'm really sorry. Then my second make, my top two, probably my top three to be honest, is my latest make. So at the time of filming this video, it is the Xanthe, I think it's called Xanthe, but double check the pronunciation. It's the Xanthe Skirt by Sew Over It. So Sew Over It is also pattern company. They are London based, I believe. I've not told you where the other two were. I believe so. Bella Loves Pattern is also a UK pattern company, and I think Paper Cut Pattern is either New Zealand or I don't think it's Australia. Oh, I can't remember. I'm sorry. Let me check, because that is going to bother me. So one thing as well about me is that I like to fact check what I say, and I know this is insane, you know, because it's literally just telling you where is a pattern company from. But I like things like that, you know. I'm very international in terms of where I come from, and people I sort of gravitate around. So I love to know where things are from. I just love it. And now I can't find it. Here we go. They've got an about us. That's good. That's gonna save time. New Zealand. Here you go. Now I feel better. You know, it's sad, isn't it? So yeah, Paper Cut Pattern is from New Zealand, and then the two other brands I'm talking about are both in the UK. So Sew Over It is a very well-known sewing brand, pattern company. I don't know what you call them, and I love them. I love their patterns. They're just one of those pattern company that makes garments that look like everyday garments. So when you sew them, people cannot tell that you've sewn them, because they look so good. They look like the garments you can buy from ready-to-wear shops. Not in terms of finishing, because theirs look much better than ready-to-wear garments. But the designs are just so realistic, you know, like you could have bought that from a shop, you know, like I just love that about them. I just love this pattern company. And then they have their little tweaks on those patterns actually, and they have very simple patterns, beginner patterns. I love them. Now you might think that I'm a bit biased, because I've actually been selected to be one of their pattern insiders. Before I was selected, I was already sewing their patterns. I had sewn probably three different projects at least. And I absolutely loved sewing them. I loved the finished look, whatever. I loved how the garment looked at the end, and I definitely recommend you have a look at their Instagram or their website. They've got hundreds of patterns. and I'm very, very proud to be one of their pattern insider, because I've only been sewing for a couple of years and a bit, and yeah, I was so proud to be selected. So the Xanthe Skirt is my first project as a pattern insider, and I basically, obviously, as a pattern insider, I receive the pattern before its general release, and I would basically publish it on my Instagram when they basically ask the pattern insiders to basically publish their garments, their projects. And I'm really, really enjoying this. The community is great. The pattern insiders are just lovely, lovely people, and it's just so nice to see the other people's projects on the same pattern, see what fabric they've chosen, what hacks they've made, and yeah, I just love it. I really enjoy it. It just brings so much joy to my day, you know, to hear about the new pattern that we can sew and have a look at other people's projects. I love it. So the Xanthe Skirt is my latest make, and definitely one of my proudest makes, because it was very challenging. It was not very challenging because of the pattern. It's very well explained. So over it is basically very well known for the clarity of the instructions. Their instructions are just so clear, you know, you cannot say that it's not clear. It's very clear, and that's one thing I love about them. If you've never sewn, definitely recommend their patterns. And definitely this skirt was a challenge because, first of all, I had to learn how to sew a zip fly. Is it a zip fly or a fly zip? That's my French. I always get those words the other way around, and you're going to be laughing, you know, at my videos. You're going to be laughing. It is a zip fly. So it was my first zip fly. I'll put some pictures again, videos about me wearing this, probably only pictures on that one. But yeah, the zip fly was challenging. Not as bad as I thought, actually, but definitely challenging. It is an intermediate level, 100%. Never, I couldn't, yeah, basically I could have never started with something like that. No chance. I would not have finished the project, basically, as a beginner. But the zip fly was great to learn how to do. I really enjoyed that. And then I also, sorry, that was my alarm. And then I also loved doing the waistband and the belt loops, because the finished, just the way it looks, the finished, do you say the finished look? The finished look, I think, of the garment. It just looks so amazing. It looks like, again, something I've bought off a ready-to-wear shop. I know I keep on saying that this is great, but I do think that when people don't know that you've sewn something, it's amazing. You know, I think the bigger the garment, the more original the garment, the more people think, oh, she can't have possibly bought that in the shop. Did you make it? And I feel like with like everyday stuff, it'll be harder for people to tell, oh, you've made that, you know, and they're even more impressed for some reason, because your amazing dress that you can wear on the red carpet, they're like, oh, a designer made that, or did you make that, you know, when that is actually amazing. Not that everyday wear garment, I can't speak anymore, too early in the morning, not that everyday garment are not amazing, 100%. I think anything you sew is amazing. Even a headband, it doesn't matter, you know, you've made it, you've made that project, you know, you've made it. Anyway, so those are my 3 top makes, and I've really enjoyed sewing all that. We only question number 3, guys, and I don't have that much time left before I've got to go to work and basically get my little one ready and drop him at nursery. So let's crack on. I'm going to be very quick, I promise. What is your most disastrous make? My most disastrous make is probably my Indy pattern from Fibre Mood. I made a size that was probably too big for the type of fabric I used. The reason I'm saying this is because I did undersize, but then the fabric was probably too stretchy, and the shoulder line, instead of being here, was basically here. So yeah, it wasn't the best. And now I've got my little one who's just popped in because he just woke up. Hey baby! I am definitely not going to finish this video this morning, but that's fine, you know, I'll do the rest another time, and it doesn't matter because it'll be like a vlog. I think you call that a vlog when it's not like properly edited and you all look like fancy, the whole thing. Anyway, So my most disastrous make, as I was saying, is the Indy top by Fiberman. And as I'm talking to you, I'm double checking the name, but I'm pretty sure it is the Indy top by Fiberman. It was a lovely pattern. I had this knit fabric that I really, really liked, but I had it in two different colours. And I wanted to use the one I didn't like as much to do my toile. I never make toiles. And again, another topic for another day. I just love it. Yeah, so it's the Indy Jumper. I'll put pictures here whilst I'm talking about it. And it was such a shame. And I did post that on my story and said to my sewing friends, do you think I need to redo that? Can I save it? And they were like, oh no, you're gonna have to remake that thing. And that was never gonna happen. You know, I was so upset, so annoyed with myself. So I think with knit fabrics, it's a lot harder to get the fit right because every fabric stretched differently, and yes, has a different sort of like elasticity and stretch to it. And with woven fabric, it's a lot easier to know the finished garment measurement because there's no stretch. Whereas with knit fabrics, I do struggle because if your fabric doesn't have the exact, or how do you call it? You know, like the percentage. I forgot how you call that. So each knit fabric has a certain percentage that you can stretch it, basically, that you can stretch it to. So you can have 50% stretch, 60% stretch, and normally patterns tell you how much stretch your fabric needs to have. And I do try to check that, and I'm pretty sure I did check that. I definitely have for my swimwear patterns. I did check that very, very precisely, and still managed to get it slightly wrong. But I'm wearing my swimwears. I'm 100% wearing my swimwears. I'm very happy with that. But yeah, so I can't remember what was the issue. So now I've got my little one's back because he obviously saw the ring light and he's got his bottle with him, and yeah, he's got his baby bottle now. His dad sorted him out. But anyway, so yeah, that is my most disastrous make. I will probably talk about different patterns in my French videos, try to find relevant patterns for each type of audience, and because as I'm talking, I'm thinking about the French equivalent of my disastrous make. But anyway, so now you're going to hear my little one making some noise, and that's fine. That's life, you know, that's just how it is. Then where is your favourite place to go fabric shopping? So I'll only talk about my online shopping because that's the type of shopping I do the most, as you've heard. And as I've said, I'm a mum and I'm full-time. I work full-time. I don't know why I say I'm a full-time worker. I work full-time, so it is a very 24/7 sort of life with no rest. And now my belly's making some noise because I want my breakfast. Never mind. So my favourite website is Poundfabrics. I love them. I love Poundfabrics. I cannot say enough about them. Again, I'll put a link in the description below. I'm not an affiliate. I have nothing to do with Poundfabrics. Not like Sew Over It. Again, I'm not an affiliate with Sew Over It, but obviously I'm a pattern insider, so I'm a little bit biased. But Poundfabrics, if you are the sort of person who don't want to spend a lot of money on your fabrics, but still want quality fabrics, 100% go on Poundfabrics. I will always find the best deal, the cheapest fabric for the best quality. This is me. I just like to be very cheap about my fabric buying because, first of all, sewing is an expensive hobby, and I don't have like all the money in the world to buy £30 a metre fabric. please don't feel offended if that's what you do. If that's what you do, then I'm very jealous and I wish I was you and I could do that, but I can't do that. So Poundfabrics, 100% go on there. I've loved shopping on this website. There are a couple of other websites, but this is by far my favourite and where I shop the most. What is your most used pattern? So I've counted how many versions I've made of each pattern I've ever made, and basically the one that I've made the most is the silk cami top by Sew Over It. I've made I've made two versions of the silk cami top, and I love this pattern. It's great. My most used pattern is oh, Nummy. Okay, give me 2 seconds, guys. Right, let's try and finish this video because I think we're reaching the end of the possibility of finishing this. So my most used pattern, that's where we were, is the Freya top by Tilly and the Buttons. I love this top. I've made 3 different versions. Again, I'm going to put some pictures as I'm talking. It's just this perfect perfect roll neck top. I think you call it a roll neck top. I absolutely love this pattern. Yeah, as I said, I've made 3 different versions. Again, it's one of those patterns that feels like I've bought that. Yeah, I've basically bought that in the shop. It just looks amazing. It's so simple yet so versatile. You can choose any type of fabric. Just make sure you check the stretch of your fabric before you sew it, because one of those versions I had to basically cut my collar in 2 to make sure that it would fit, to make it basically stretchy enough so that it basically fits when I try to put it on. I've got a massive head, so I'm not the right person to basically rely on when it comes to head size. My head is absolutely huge. Right, the next question is your most dreaded sewing task. So my most dreaded sewing task is, you will see me looking there, it's because I'm basically cuddling my baby. My most dreaded sewing task is hemming, and it's the easiest task. Depends on the fabric, you know, like something very silky, but it's quite easy when you think about the other tasks. And it's my most dreaded task. I hate it. I hate it so much that I can leave a project without a hem for weeks. And I've found the way how to avoid that is to basically hem my project as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm done sewing it, I hem it. It doesn't matter if it's 7 meters of fabric. 7 meters of fabric, I have to hem. I have to do it straight away. If I don't do it straight away, that's it. It will never get done. I'll be walking around without a hem. But yeah, that's my most dreaded sewing task by far. And your favourite sewing task? My favourite sewing task is definitely making, do you say making gathers or doing gathers? I don't know, but gathering. I love gathering. I love gathering fabrics. I love ruffles. So because I love ruffles, of course I love to gather my fabrics. I don't know how to say it. There'll be a few bits like that when I actually don't know how to say that. But yeah, gathering is my favourite thing. I think there's a lot of sewing vocabulary I'm still not very familiar with. What is your favourite sewing entertainment? So I live in London in the UK, and you might not know this show if you don't live here, but it's called The Sewing Bee. I love The Sewing Bee. I love it so much that when I found out about The Sewing Bee, I basically binge watched the first 5 or 6 seasons in a row. And it was the best summer ever. I did that over a whole month in summer, and I loved it. And I think my little one was 6 months or something like that. I can't remember. Yeah, I love The Sewing Bee. I love it. It's great. It's an amazing sewing competition, and you basically follow the contestants over a few weeks, and then they have a winner. And now you're gonna start seeing my baby. No, Kylian, attends, chérie. Yeah, I speak to him in French. So I'm trying to get him out of the frame, but I think it'll be cut off. Attends, bébé, attends. Right, I'm back. Let's do this again. So I am more of a PDF gal. I love PDF because first of all, they're cheaper most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Cheaper than printed patterns, and you don't pay for shipping fees. And basically what I do, I send the file to my printer, my lovely printer who is based in, I forgot where she's based, but she's a lovely lady, and I'll put the website of this printing shop in the box below. I think you call it the description box on YouTube. Like if I don't know, I think it's a description box. And I really like the fact that with PDF patterns you get your pattern straight away. Obviously you have to print it, but even with the printing cost is still very often either the same price or cheaper than a printed pattern. You can get really good sales on the big 4 patterns, so anything like the McCall's, Butterick, Vogue, and I'm gonna mention something that's not part of the big 4, am I? Simplicity. All these, which are lovely patterns. I have sewn a couple of them. You can get really good sales on websites like Minerva. I think the Fold line as well. There's sales on them. But yeah, I really like. I just really like the fact that you can just get a pattern and buy online and get it straight away on your laptop basically. I love that, and yeah, I just think it's cheaper overall. That's the only reason why I think PDF are nice. You're gonna very soon realize that it's all about saving money here. What sewing machine do you use? I use a Brother. I use the Innoviz 15, I believe. I'll put a picture again. I love this sewing machine. It's my first sewing machine that I bought a couple of years and a few months ago. It's a beginner sewing machine. When you buy a sewing machine, 100% do your research. I did. I went on YouTube and I basically typed how to choose your first sewing machine, and there was a lot of videos out there. Not as many as I thought, actually. No, that's a lie. There wasn't that many. But the good thing about it is that I was able to know what things I should be looking for when buying a first sewing machine, and that was great. That was really, really helpful. So I recommend you do your research before buying a sewing machine, 100%. Do you have any other hobbies? So that's a really interesting question. I go from sewing for a long time, then sewing something like the Indy top, being really annoyed, drop my sewing for a couple of months and go off reading, knitting, doing some embroidery, and then I'll pick back up sewing and do that for a month again and not do any of the other things I've just mentioned. But I do also love reading, I love knitting, I love doing some embroidery, I love those 2 or 3 other things. I love dancing as well. I try to go to dance classes whenever I can. At the moment I'm not doing any, but again, very on and off, but I've never stopped dancing, never stopped going to dance classes. So yeah, those are the few other hobbies I really enjoy. And I think this is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that it was interesting to listen to me rambling about my sewing preferences and who I am. But yeah, I hope to make other videos. I hope that I will be organised enough and I will have the time to make them, because at the end of the day I've got other priorities in my life. But I do enjoy listening and watching other people's podcasts, so I thought, let me give it a go and let me do a video and see how it goes. And I think I've enjoyed doing this one. I think I have enjoyed making this one. So yeah, I hope you have a really good rest of your day or your night whenever you're listening to this, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.